Since few episodes now, Jay is telling the story to Suji. Present time, Suji looked at Jacob thoughtfully. So, didn't it hurt when she said you were only her friend? Jacob smiled. No. Before that, she barely trusted me. He looked down for a moment. By then, I had become her close friend. He smiled again. To me, that was one step closer. I believed she'd take the next step when the time was right. I just didn't know destiny had other plans. The morning bus rides slowly became coffee breaks. Coffee breaks slowly became lunch breaks. Jacob smiled as he remembered those afternoons. I never carried lunch from home. Mom wasn't cooking those days anyway. We had people at home who did. But he laughed softly. I wanted an excuse to have lunch with her. So I asked Mom to pack me a lunchbox. Jansi had looked at him in surprise. You? Taking lunch to the office? Jacob simply smiled. At the office canteen, Jules opened her lunchbox. I've been cooking since I was little, she smiled. So don't worry if it isn't perfect. Jacob took a spoonful of her sambar rice. His eyebrows lifted immediately. This is really good. She pushed his lunchbox towards herself. Without asking, she took a bite of his lemon rice. Still chewing, she smiled. Hmm, this is nice too. From that day onwards, sharing lunch quietly became their little ritual. If Jules packed potato fry, half of it ended up in Jacob's lunchbox. If Jacob brought curd rice, she never hesitated to steal a spoonful. One afternoon, Jacob arrived without a lunchbox. I was running late this morning. Without a second thought, Jules divided her lunch into two equal portions. Here, we can share. Jacob looked at her for a moment. She said it so naturally, as though there had never been another option. After lunch, he returned with two glasses of fresh juice from the canteen. Payment for today's lunch, he smiled. She laughed. You'll go bankrupt if you keep doing that. I don't mind. He almost said it. Fortunately, he stopped himself just in time. A week had passed since Jacob joined Fortune. One of the employees from the testing team was getting married and had invited everyone from the office. Since Satish had also been invited, Jacob decided to accompany him, although he barely knew the groom. The reception began at 6 that evening. Satish and Jacob reached on time. Satish settled into a chair. Jacob kept looking towards the entrance. Satish couldn't help smiling. He knew exactly whom his friend was waiting for. A few moments later, Jules walked into the hall. She wore a navy blue silk sari. Jacob forgot about everything else. She wasn't wearing expensive jewelry, nor elaborate makeup, yet, to him, she was the most beautiful woman in the room. She noticed them almost immediately and walked over. Hi, when did you both get here? Just 5 minutes ago, Jacob replied. Then he turned towards Satish. This is Mr. Satish, my boss. Jules smiled politely. It's nice to meet you. The pleasure is mine, Satish replied with a gentle smile. He couldn't help appreciating his friend's choice. She had a warmth that made people feel comfortable within minutes. Just then, Rekha, Jules' teammate and roommate, joined them. Introductions were exchanged. Soon afterwards, everyone gathered for a group photograph. As the photographer adjusted the crowd, people moved closer together. Little closer, someone called. Jacob obeyed. The photographer smiled. Everyone, look at the camera. Everyone did, except Jacob. His eyes were on Jules. Dinner followed. Jules sat with her teammates. Jacob sat with Satish. He kept watching her. She laughed with her colleagues, adjusted the jasmine flowers in one woman's hair without even thinking. Another colleague's little daughter wandered near their table. Jules bent down, played peekaboo, and the little girl burst into laughter. Jacob smiled to himself. Satish slowly turned towards him. Day, the food hasn't even arrived. At least wait before you start eating. Jacob looked down. An empty banana leaf. He laughed sheepishly. His eyes had been full. His stomach hadn't. After dinner, Satish stood up. Shall we leave? Jacob looked towards Jules' table. Just 5 more minutes. Right on cue, Jules and Rekha walked towards them. We are leaving. Bye. Jacob wished he could offer them a ride, spend a little more time with her. But Rekha had already booked a cab. They waved one last time and left. Jacob stood quietly in the parking lot, watching the cab disappear. As they walked towards their car, Satish finally asked, Che, it's already been 10 days. You don't have much time. When are you going to tell her the truth? Jacob looked at the road ahead. Soon. He smiled. I want to know her a little more. He didn't realize it then, that destiny had already begun counting the days. Wait for me right here for the next episode. This is Between Love and Truth, where love is deep and truth runs deeper. Thanks for listening.